Hi band, and welcome back to a lesson about chords. In this video we're going to go through how to play our first chords, talk a little bit about strumming, and also how to hold a pick. But if you're a complete newbie and you're still wondering about things like how to hold the guitar in general and how to make sounds out of it, then go check out our first video that we did about the very basics of how to play guitar. But if you're already familiar with how to hold the guitar and how to fret, then we can get started. Hi band, we just realized that our YouTube channel has hit 100,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So I just wanted to drop by and say thank you for watching and following our videos, and we'll definitely keep making you more in the future. Cheers! First, let's talk a little bit about what a chord is. Theoretically, a chord is when several individual notes are played together at the same time. So instead of playing each note individually, one by one, we play them all together. That's a chord. Chords are also really important in music in general because they form the harmony and the mood of a song. And if you're singing, it's really nice to have some chords playing in the background because they support the melody. In order to play those chords, let's have a look at what our hands are going to be doing. Our right hand, or if you're a lefty and you have a lefty guitar that you're holding the other way around, it's going to be your left hand. My right hand is what is also called a strumming hand. And with the strumming hand, we're going to do a few simple down strums. So from top to bottom, if you're strumming with your thumb, it's going to be the pad of your finger that produces the sound. And you'll notice that it sounds a little softer. Just like that. Or if you're strumming down with kind of nail part of your index finger, it's going to sound a little brighter and louder. You can also play with a pick, which is this kind of a little piece that has a pointed tip. To hold the pick, first of all, point the tip down like this. Then your thumb comes over it in a 90-degree angle like this. So the tip is not pointing to the same direction that your thumb, but instead it's at a 90-degree angle. And the index finger just holds it in place. The rest of your fingers, maybe you just hold them in a loose fist like this. Now to make a sound, think of this brushing movement that has a really nice and natural flow. So first of all, don't lock your wrist like this so that your whole arm is really stiff. Instead, keep your wrist loose. Just let it sweep back and forth. So let's try a few down strums with a nice and loose arm from the top to bottom. Let's go. Also notice that it's good to tilt the pick a little bit, because if you're pointing the tip straight towards the guitar, the pick will get stuck. So tilt the pick a little bit, the tip is pointing up a little bit, and it's easier to kind of just sweep through it or brush through the strings. After that, to make an up strum, you just return your hand to the position where you started from. So first down. Then you're going to tilt the pick to the other direction, so the tip pointing down a little, to make the up strum easier. Let's move on to our first chord, which is called the E minor chord, and it sounds like this. For this chord, we're going to need two fingers, so our middle finger and ring finger for the fretting, and the middle finger, we're going to place it on the A string, which is the second thickest string, on fret number 2. So let's count. Fret 1, fret 2. So that is where your middle finger is going to go. Then your ring finger is going to go right underneath it on the D string, fret 2. Of course, it's going to be hard to get both of the fingers right next to the fret, so that's fine. You can have your ring finger next to the fret and then your middle finger kind of they're side by side there. Keep pressing down on those two frets and try to strum. And you're going to strum through all of the strings. Also make sure that you're pressing down with your fingertips, with the very tip of your fingers. If your fingers are tilting down a little bit like this, chances are that you're touching the strings underneath and muting them that way. It's also good to double check each string, so when you're pressing down, just go one string at a time. Shape, the E minor shape. And now, do you remember how it feels to play that shape? So if you place your fingers there one more time, side by side, remember this shape. You can practice this by pressing down and then letting go of the guitar, but keep your fingers in that shape. So just lift your fingers up like this. That's it. That's the E minor shape. And then you can place it back on the guitar neck, like this. This way, you're building the muscle memory for that shape. For the next chord, we're gonna do an E major chord. So if you compare that with the E minor sound, which is a little melancholic, the major is somehow a little happier. To play the E major, we're going to keep those two fingers there, but we're going to add a third finger, which is the index finger. And the index finger is going to go on the G string, which is string number 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the G string. And it's going to go there on fret 1. So you see they're forming this nice shape there on the fretboard. Again, remember this shape. How does it feel? If you lift your fingers up slightly, can you keep that shape? And then place it back again. The next chord, and last one for today that we're going to learn, is called the A minor chord. And I have good news for you, because the shape of the A minor chord is exactly the same than in the E major chord. Remember that shape with your fingers? From the E major chord, we're going to move this whole package down one string, just like that. Another thing that's slightly different from the other two chords that we just did, for this one, we're not going to strum the big E string, the thickest string. So you can do that by either just strumming a bit more carefully to make sure that you start your strum from the A string down, leaving the top string out, or you can use your thumb. You might have noticed that my thumb is just hanging around here. It's been reaching out a little over the top of the neck. And the reason for that is that now I can use it for slightly touching the thickest string. So that when I strum, the top string, the big E string, is muted. Again, remember to check all the strings so that you're not accidentally muting out any other strings than the thickest E string. Now what I want you to do is to practice the transitions between these chords. So instead of wasting a lot of movement by always taking your fingers out completely and then having to find the shape again from scratch, try to be as smooth and as direct as possible. From the E minor chord, just add one finger to get to the E major chord, and then move the whole package down one string, mute the top string, the biggest, thickest E string with your thumb, and play the A minor chord. Once you feel comfortable with playing these chords and you want to play them in a song, I recommend you go and download the Yousician application, where you can find songs that are specifically written for these three chords that we just learned. You can find them by searching, for instance, a song named Inside Job, that's one, and another one called The Minor Step. In the description of this video, you will find a link to a blog post where you can find more chords to learn, and also you can keep learning more chords with the application. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and hit the like button if you did, and I'll see you in the next video.